so sorry.
Are you saying you don't want me there no more?
No, just got new furniture, bro.
Yeah, okay.
Just new furniture.
But my chair is gone.
I'm sorry.
I don't have my
You can go
spine.
to the twins' house and sit in
Is
it.
that who got the chair now?
Uh-huh.
Is that got the chair now?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go there. I'm not going. There. Okay, we got oh my goodness. Okay. I couldn't read that one. But anyway, I'll find that one. But the thing is, Stephanie, what's I mean, you are getting older.
Yes.
Yeah, every day. You know, what's the plan, Stephanie, for you and what? I mean, but you have children now. Most of your children are adults. I mean, you have grandbabies.
Yes.
But most of your children are adults. What's Stephanie's plan? How does Stephanie deal with herself, her me time? Because you're on 24/7. Every time I FaceTime you, you FaceTime me, you got babies around you. Your home babies is there. You know, every time that I come over the house, the babies and everything, you know, just, and I honestly don't see how you can do it. I know you do it, but I mean, your house is always food. How does Stephanie get her quiet moment? What does she do?
I leave.
What do you do though? I mean,
Um,
what
I
content?
play cards. I get together with, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us ladies go out to eat. You know, um, my therapy is going to Walmart.
Keep talking. I'm messing up.
I go to Walmart. Going to the grocery store is my therapy. I can spend 3, 4 hours in Walmart, and don't let no one
What
not.
in Walmart?
I sure can. Don't let no one not come with me. And
Uh,
I get in one of those rolling carts. It might be full to the top time I get to the cashier, but I can spend. That's my therapy.
okay.
See, I used to could cut grass, and that was my therapy because my whole,
With a lawnmower?
yeah, my brain would shut completely down.
Okay.
I,
Okay.
I heard nothing. I, my brain was silent.
Wow.
Or I can go and I don't always leave home. I can go in my bedroom, shut my door, turn on my TV, and lock the door.
Yeah. Stephanie, you ever have the moments to where you can sit there sometime because you're looking at, I know you look at your children, you know, and the struggles and the challenges and everything. But I also spoke to you, and you've talked about just society and how, you know, how the parents now must come together and start doing something and offering support groups for these young women and everything. You ever get to a point that sometimes it gets so overwhelming that you close yourself off and tears just come down? And then if it does, how do you deal with that?
I just let the tears flow,
Okay.
talk to God, and then keep on pushing.
And keep on pushing. Satire Duncan said that, Stephanie, you are so awesome, and God bless you for all you do for the children. Love you.
Thank you, Satire.
Yeah, man.
Doing, I run a daycare. I have been doing daycare for the last 16 years. And most of my daycare babies stay with me until they go to kindergarten, and then they come back in the summer.
Wow.
And that's a blessing that I get to keep them that long. Um, but that's challenging also. I had today my 20-year-old daycare baby called me and told me he just got out of the hospital because he tried to commit suicide.
Hmm. How old is he?
He's 20.
Wow.
Um, and I talked to him for about a half an hour. And like I told him, you have to find your worth, your self-worth. You're a good human being. Yes, you made mistakes from teen to, and you your relationship failed with your girlfriend. That's okay because God's making somebody better for you.
Mm.
And another person doesn't make who you are. So many people, so many young people I see feel they have to have that other person, you know, and it's not true. So when they're babies, you got to start instilling in their brains when they're babies that they're worthy. They are somebody. And to love their self first.
Mm.
You got to start at a young age.
Wow. That's awesome. We only have a few minutes left. I know that Brenda Welch joined us, and she's watching. And I think it's important that parents need to know that they're appreciated. You know, and I think that the community appreciates the parents that are being parents to their children. You know.
And that's true. I've been blessed. My daughters will walk in the door with a Mountain Dew and a Hershey almond bar, just because, and the little things show appreciation,
Mm.
you know, um, and that's important to know that you're appreciated also.
Well, but Stephanie, one of the things I know that there were times, seriously, there were times that even I've sat in my house, and just been totally depressed, and I just want to say thank you to you as my sister, because you hit me up on FaceTime and you say, you ask me what's wrong, but you're there, and I can always talk to you, and you have been an inspiration to me, and I know that your babies, you've been an inspiration to them, but you have been a rock for me, and I say that on my show all the time, but I just want to say to you in person while I'm looking at you, I love you so much, and you've been a serious rock in my life, upholding, making sure I don't fall. And you've been a rock for me, and just it means so much because
It's vice versa.
Yeah, but let me finish. But let me tell you something. A lot of people, talk about us being strong, and I know Maria just texted said there's feedback, with the mic. It's my phone. Oh, okay, let me move my phone. There, we got it out now. I should have took it. I took it out. How's that? We're good now? Okay. Thank you, Maria, for saying that. I want to say that there was a moment in my life, especially after Mom passed, and one of the things that, and I don't know if I shared this with you, I don't know because I haven't shared it with a lot of people, but one of the things that, as you were there and I was there, and watching Mom pass away, it always bothered me, and one of our aunts, or actually last aunt that's left, I think, Aunt Chris, it was like a couple months later, and I told Aunt Chris, I said, it really bothered me. I was whole mind, like, because, I always felt that the hospice people lied to me, I really do, because, they talk about she would ask to go and she would go so peacefully and everything else. Mom didn't go peacefully. And Aunt Chris, and I love Aunt Chris, without a doubt, but I wish she hadn't have told me. But she said, one of the reasons why your mom didn't want to go like that, she said, because she felt she was leaving you alone. And I already was feeling guilty because I was administering that medicine to her, and I watched her as we did. We watched her go for that vibrant smile, and I'll slap you, as she would say. And after that, I fell apart, and I want to say you helped keep me together. Be knows not knowing that you don't know how much of a rock you worked for me and keeping me together because I literally had lost it. I literally in my mind, and just because I was beating myself up, feeling real guilty, and then it triggered a lot of other things that had happened in my life that I feel I had let people down, and I just felt that I had let you down, I had let mom down, I had let several other people down that had died in my life. Even, going back as far as the 60 with Archie Simmons, who was my roadie. He was my roadie. When I was on the boat, he took care of mom. I'll never forget one thing, but he did it, he showed mom what had to do with somebody who ran up on her, you know. But, it was just, and I was gone, baby. And you helped keep me grounded. And I don't know if you realize that, but you did. And I thank you for that. I really do. I thank you so much for that. Because you did. If it wasn't for you, I don't know where I would have been at today. And I want to say that to you because I say this to everybody that has a sibling. If you're mad at your sibling, make up. If you're mad at somebody close to your family, make up. Because I'm telling you now, if it wasn't for my baby sister, I can tell y'all now, I don't know what I would have been doing this day. People talk about, okay, you're strong, but one of the reasons I am today is because of you. Because I watch you, and you are my younger, older sister. Because I have watched you go through trials and tribulations, not only with your babies, your children, but with life. And you always come out, and you always take that road. And I know there's times, don't get me wrong, I know there's times that it's hard, but we've cried with each other on the phone.
Yes, we have. Yes, we
Yeah,
have.
but that's an impact that you had on me. That's the impact because you've always been there for me, and thick and thin, And I just say to those out there today, boy, if you have a loved one, you better call them because tomorrow's not promised to you or them. The next 5 minutes isn't promised. And I said, so,
And it's a learning process within yourself. You know, I had to learn to be the best daughter I could. I had to learn that.
mm,
I had to learn to be the best sister I could be. I had to learn that stuff, you know. And thank God I had someone to help me learn that stuff. You know, my hat will always go off to Keisha Scott
mm,
for teaching me,
mm,
you know,
yeah,
to be the best person I can be. No, I don't do it perfect, but I can be the best person I can be, you know. And I thank God I got that opportunity to be the best daughter I could be.
yeah, yeah,
Because that changed my whole relationship with my mama.
yeah, it did.
You know, and I was able to enjoy being her daughter. And she was able to enjoy me. And I learned to be the best daughter I could be and the best sister I could be.
And you know what? I appreciate it. I thank God first, and then thank you, and mom, because you were the two women in my life that you know what, that never gave up on me,
Of course
and
not.
that never gave up on me.
Because you're my rock.
You know,
You're, oh, you will always be my rock. We couldn't afford a bicycle. But you built me a bicycle
Out on the spare parts
out of them spare
for
parts.
somebody else's bicycle
With the banana seat.
with the banana seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of y'all don't remember that banana seat, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
we
you
did
built
that.
me it.
Yeah.
You built me it.
Stephanie, we got to close. You got some words to parents or to sisters, to family members out there you want to share?
I'd just like to say, if you have teenage daughters, sit down and talk with them. Have real conversation. Let them tell you just how they feel. And it might not be appropriate the way they say it, but listen. Just listen to them. You know, um, even your little kids, though, just listen. You know, it's important that we start listening to our children instead of talking at them.
Mm.
You know, it's very important. And for anyone out there that don't have nothing to do and lonely and everything, go be a foster parent.
Hmm.
You know, you don't have to adopt. Be a foster parent. We got so many babies out there that need love. So many. You know, and like I said, the process isn't like it was when I started 20 years ago.
Mm.
It's simpler now. But don't do it thinking you're going to get a lot of money because you ain't.
So don't do it for the money.
Yeah, don't do it for the money because you ain't going to get a lot of money.
Ain't gonna get the money.
No, not at all. It ain't going to help. It help a little bit, but it ain't going to help a whole lot.
Yeah.
You know. But there's a lot of babies that need love. There's an, you know, if you got that young girl in your apartment building that looks like a loner, talk to her.
Mm.
She might need one person. Just talk to her. Or you know what? I see a young girl walking in the store or something, and I just say, "Oh, you're beautiful. How you doing today?" And keep moving.
Hmm.
Because nobody might not have told that child that, or she might not have never heard that.
Mm.
You know, it's important that we reach out to our young people.
Mm.
It's very important.
Yeah, it is. I want to thank you, and I want to let you know that Abanon, thank you for joining us. And she sent about 10 hearts out. I'm looking at it now. She sent all these hearts out, and you can see it on the screen. And want to say thank you to everyone who joined us. All of you, to our sponsor, Maria Revesa from Noche, and to our future sponsors. I have people already said they're going to, sponsor us in the future, and they're going to be calling to do that. To Bishop Harris, thank you. To all the people, that are there. To Christian, thank you for joining us. Brian West, thank you, without a doubt. And April Wells, thank you, without a doubt. And Langston, for getting us on board and keeping us, on the air, and the work that's done. Because behind the scenes, you just don't know. But I say to those who are listening, as always in closing, and I always thank my sister, who's my rock, and she's here with me now, and I want to say thank you. Love you dearly. All right, love you. Oh, man, yeah. So, I want to say to you that, I know we get mad at our family a lot. These are, times, and we have challenges in our family. All I say is that recognize the way the climate is today. Recognize the way the climate and what it says today. We have to understand that sometimes we have to, take it in and be able to be adults, but be able to look at ourselves and say, what could I have done better? And then be there and understand that the pain that your sibling has may not have nothing to do with you, may not have a thing to do with you. The pain that they're suffering for may be something they ran into, and not just in school, just in on the job, just in life. You don't know what that individual what hit them that day or that week. But that doesn't mean that when you call them at a time that they couldn't just be polite and nice and everything, that they're hurting inside. Because a lot of people that we're dealing with are hurting, hurting real bad inside. So we have to understand that. And, I just want to say to the people that are out there, reach out. And sometimes when you're on the phone or somebody wants to talk, maybe they just want you to listen. Maybe they're not asking you to fix nothing. Maybe they just want you to listen and understand. And let me tell you something, in relationships aren't easy in this time. They're hard. And they're hard because, one of the things that Stephanie said earlier, we have to learn not only to talk with children and not at them, we have to learn to talk with each other and not at us. You got to learn to talk with the person that you're on. And so this is what you got to be able to do. Learn to talk with, learn to listen. Because a lot of times you're listening to a pain that is coming out. And one thing I also found, if somebody comes to talk to you, you don't have to match story to story with them. You don't have to turn around. They said, well, this happened to me and da-da-da-da. You don't have to come back and say, when I was this age or this happened to me, that happened to me. They don't want to hear that. They didn't call you to hear that. They called it so you could listen to them because they needed to get it off their chest. So these are the things, just take a note. Just take a note. Again, I want to thank everybody tonight that's listening. I send my love out to everybody. I send a special love out to my sister who's right here by my side. And we didn't get to answer the question because April did ask, what advice would you give mothers on how to support their daughters as they navigate the ups and downs of life as they mature into adulthood? Stephanie, I want to close with that. Before you answer that, Abaddon has said, Sankofa said, the village is so important. Thanks for reminding us that we here to be there for each other. We are here to be here for each other. And William Sims said, God bless you, Stephanie, and Akeo, true pillars of our community. We want to, let everybody know that we appreciate you calling. But Stephanie, I say to everybody now, peace, love, and much respect. But I also want to say, Stephanie, close out by answering that question.
Ooh, I would say because you build you have that relationship with your child, with your daughter. Make sure they know they can come to you about everything, even if it's about the boyfriend, sexual, education, whatever, that they know they can come and talk to you and not be judged. And you keep that door open with them so they feel comfortable to know. Especially when they become young adults, you have to keep that door open so they're not scared to come to you. And most of the time you got that relationship with your child, you know something's going on. So you ask them, what's up? And let them know that they can talk to you about anything.
Without being judged.
Without being judged.
That's beautiful. As we close out, we said with Stephanie on that, I want to close out with a quote for today. Comes from Brenda Welch. She said, we really did have a village when we were growing up in the 60s and 70s. We need to go back to every mother being a village mother.
Yes.
Peace, love, and much respect. Good night, everybody. See you next Monday. We'll see you next Monday. All right.
Good night.
Listen, listen. It is not whether you are Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Republican, or Democrat. It's if you are ready to fight for justice for all, no matter what label you are under. Listen, listen. The question is not whether can you die for me, the question is whether can you live for me. If we understand our differences, our similarities will have substance. Listen, listen. The struggle is real. We can and must win. Listen. We can and must win. Listen, listen. It is not whether you are Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Republican, or Democrat. It's if you are ready to fight for justice for all, no matter what label you are under. Listen, listen. The question is not whether can you die for me, the question is whether can you live for me. If we understand our differences, our similarities will have substance. Listen, listen. The struggle is real. We can and must win. Listen. We can and must win.